Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really taking on something, well, genuinely radical. We're digging into a blueprint for basically overhauling civilization.
Yeah.
We're pulling the core ideas from this text. A sociedad que no precisa de donos, which translates pretty directly to the society that needs no owners.
And the thing is, this isn't just abstract theory. That's what makes it so compelling. The author, Philin, bases this whole proposal on a really immediate crisis.
Right.
Or rather, not just one crisis, but like a convergence of 4 huge structural failures that I argue seriously threaten, human continuity.
Okay, let's nail those 4 down, because they really set the stage for why this redesign is presented as so urgent. We're talking about the climate emergency, that's number 1. Then the fundamental failure of the current capitalist model.
Yep.
Third, the looming exhaustion of petroleum. And fourth, just rapidly escalating geopolitical tensions. It's quite a list.
It really is.
Yeah.
And these aren't just like future hypotheticals. The source material crunches the numbers. It points out this critical fact that globally, our current consumption rate, it demands resources equivalent to more than 1.7 planets.
Yeah.
Every single year.
1.7 planet.
Yeah. We are structurally, fundamentally overdrawn.
So Phil isn't suggesting, minor tweaks here and there, no policy reforms. They're looking for a radical break. Immediate, but, and this is key viable, a rupture.
Exactly. A complete system redesigned, but built entirely on tech that already exists. Mature technology.
So the idea is the tools for a prosperous, free society that lives within planetary limits, they're already here. We just need a new operating system.
That's the core premise. And they lay down the non-negotiable condition right from the get-go. Any solution must be built on direct participatory democracy.
No exception.
None. Any plan that leaves decision-making power with some elite or a centralized authority, it's just doomed, they argue, to repeat the same old failures.
Okay, all right. Let's unpack the diagnosis first then. This old, rotten building, as the text calls the current world, the author goes deep, right? Not just blaming current leaders or banks.
Go way deeper. They trace it way, way back to what the text calls the original sin.
The original sin, okay.
And the depth of this diagnosis it's pretty striking. It identifies the invention of organized, exchangeable currency money itself as that original sin. Money itself, responsible for the major structural problems. Greed, corruption, the obsession with power, wage slavery. The big ones.
Wait, hold on. Money, not like hierarchy or tribalism or just the plain old lust for power. The existence of money is the fundamental structural flaw. That's an intense way to frame it.
It is intense, and here's the key insight that makes it click, or at least makes you see their point. The author argues money isn't just a neutral tool, a medium of exchange.
Okay.
It's the actual mechanism that translates the most valuable and totally finite commodity we possess, human lifetime.
Oh, right. So when I trade money for, say, groceries or rent, I'm not just trading dollars or pounds.
No.
I'm trading the minutes or hours of my life I spent earning that money.
Exactly. It's a direct accounting of hours you will never, ever get back.
Wow. Okay. That reframes things.
It does. And that concept, trading lifetime, underpins this whole structure of, legalized exploitation, the author describes. Modern legalized slavery, basically.
Consolidated by an elite.
Right, an elite descended from what the text pretty provocatively calls an original mafia.
Okay, so that's the historical root. Fast forward to today, the sources detail how that exploitation structure evolved, right? Into this tight pyramid of power.
Yeah, a pyramid that extracts lifetime without really creating corresponding value for everyone. At the top, you've got the central banks. The source says they transfer just colossal amounts of wealth through interest and inflation. Below them, private banks, creating money out of thin air, essentially, and generating financial crises. And then you've got the billionaires, the monopolists, who demand and get special conditions to lock down entire industries.
And here's where it gets really wild, because the author argues we've gone beyond just, stealing labor in the old sense. The current stage is called financial cannibalism. Money versus money.
Yeah, what does that actually look like?
It's speculation, complex debt engineering, financial instruments where the main game is just extracting value from existing assets or future debt, not actually producing real goods or services.
So making money from money.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the material is explicit.
Yeah.
This process doesn't create collective wealth, it just extracts it, and it generates recurrent structural crises.
Right. And to keep this whole extraction machine running and to distract everyone whose lifetime is being drained, the elite uses these mechanisms of control. The author lumps the financial tricks together under this umbrella of fake news.
Financial fake news, like what?
Well, Phil points to a few examples. Gold, for instance. It's ancient, endures, but consumes immense human work hours, lifetime, and energy.
Right.
And even modern cryptocurrencies. The text calls them gold 2.0. Same deal. Massive consumption of work and energy, our collective lifetime, without producing tangible collective value or meeting essential needs. That's the argument.
But the control isn't only financial, is it? There's the digital side, too.
Yeah.
The second Pandora's box.
Exactly. This whole digital environment, the sources argue, is strategically designed.
Yeah.
It polarizes us, strips away empathy, gets us addicted to notifications, constant gratification.
And we trade our freedom for it.
We trade freedom, our attention, our cognitive bandwidth, all in exchange for gratuitousness, free platforms, free services.
Which then monetize our attention and data.
Precisely. So the diagnosis really, it forces you, the listener, to confront this kind of cold, maybe liberating truth.
Yeah.
Once you get the mechanism, you can't just ignore it anymore.
Okay. So the diagnosis is stark. The old system, structurally rotten, built on trading lifetime for the benefit of a few. Now, the new architecture. Chapter 2 in the source gets into the absolute essentials. If money was the flaw, what's the cornerstone? The non-negotiable foundation.
It is, like we mentioned up front, direct participatory democracy. Before you even talk about economic pillars or social rules,
Job 1.
Job 1 is ensuring that decision-making power goes back entirely to the people. The collective debates, refines, decides all major proposals.
That guarantees the system serves the whole, not just some elite.
That's the idea. It has to.
Okay, so if profit was the old system's North Star, what's the new purpose?
It's profoundly different, revolutionary in its simplicity, really. Integral, genuine, lasting well-being for all being, in harmony with the ecosystem.
Well-being, replacing profit.
That's the radical shift. Then it becomes the North Star. It forces immediate accountability, you see. If the goal is collective well-being,
then every decision,
every single action, from planning infrastructure to allocating resources, has to be justified against that metric, not just financial gain.
Okay, but I have to push back a bit here. Isn't well-being a bit fuzzy, a bit subjective? How do you actually guarantee a full life for everyone within one planet's limits, especially when the current system, which leaves most people struggling, already burns through 1.7 planets?
That's the absolute core challenge the source material dives into. And the author suggests the solution lies in radically re-evaluating what is essential, what is waste.
How so?
Well, if you remove extraction purely for profit, if you remove planned obsolescence, if you remove the massive waste inherent in the current system, it becomes dramatically more efficient.
So the available resources per person actually go up?
Exactly. Significantly. It flips from scarcity imposed by a flawed design to sufficiency guaranteed by an efficient circular design focused on well-being, not accumulation.
Okay, so we have the foundation, direct democracy, the purpose, well-being. But before we get to the three main pillars holding the roof up, we need the cement, right? The social contract.
Right. And this needs to be completely different. We have to move past what the source calls cheap paternalism.
Meaning
The authors are brutally clear. In a society built on valuing lifetime, there's just no free lunch. Nothing is truly free because every service, every product costs someone's time and effort.
Okay.
So rights and obligations have to be absolutely reciprocal and transparent.
It sounds like a very straightforward, almost adult contract. The community must provide excellent services, housing, food, healthcare, education.
Guaranteed. At a high standard.
But UT, the individual member, has the corresponding obligation to contribute their agreed-upon share. You have the right to demand quality, but you must deliver your contribution.
Exactly. That clarity, that reciprocity is what eliminates passivity.
Yeah.
It shifts the culture away from entitlement, waiting for someone else to fix things.
Towards co-responsibility, everyone actively maintaining the system that maintains them.
Creates a virtuous circle, as the text puts it. Everyone sustains and is sustained.
Okay, foundation. Direct democracy. Cement. Reciprocity. Now, the three big pillars defining the actual structure. Pillar 1, dignity and human purpose.
Yeah, this is fundamental. The old system saw people as resources to exploit or consumers to manipulate.
Right.
This pillar flips that entirely. Every single human is an active partner, a shareholder, you could say, with the right to demand excellence from the community and the obligation to offer excellence back.
How does that show up in practice?
Well, first, it shifts focus from just full employment, which can mean anything, to guaranteeing contribution over employment.
Meaningful contribution.
Meaningful, objective contribution opportunities. Work becomes inherently dignified, a source of realization, not just a paycheck. This prevents that deep frustration, even violence, that comes when people feel useless or redundant.
Makes sense. What else?
It also demands absolute, real equality of opportunities, not just lip service. Meritocracy only works if the starting line is genuinely the same for everyone.
So every child.
Every child, regardless of who their parents are or where they're born, must have totally unrestricted access to the best the society offers: education, health, resources. So, as Phil puts it, the game is no longer rigged.
And tied into that is radical inclusion.
Yes. Diversity isn't just tolerated, it's actively celebrated as the ultimate source of resilience, creativity, new ideas.
And things like bullying or discrimination.
They're treated as systemic failures, failures of social design, things to be eliminated through deep education and the structure of the system itself, not just punished after the damage is done.
Okay. And all this leads to a future without fear.
That's the goal. Future without fear. Basic survival food, shelter, health, it's guaranteed by the system's design. Plus collective strategic reserves for emergencies. This frees up so much human brain power currently just wasted on basic economic anxiety.
Okay, pillar 1, human dignity. Let's move to pillar 2, regenerative harmony with nature. This sounds like accepting a basic biological fact.
It is. The author really hammers this home. We are part of the earth, not its owners. So just being sustainable isn't enough. The system has to aim for regeneration, making things better.
And the first demand here is huge. Pollution zero by design.
Zero. By design.
Okay, wait. How is that even possible in a civilization that still needs to make things, build things? Are we talking like perpetual warranties on everything forever?
We're talking about designing the entire system for closed cycle operation, where the residue, the waste from one process, is structurally required to be the nutrient, the input for the next process.
So pollution isn't just an unfortunate side effect.
It's redefined as a symptom of failed, lazy, linear design. Purity becomes the standard. You have to eliminate waste at the source in the design phase.
And that naturally leads to a cultural and economic shift towards intelligent minimalism and a circular economy?
Correct. The aim is finding that sweet spot. Genuine personal fulfillment, but with a radically smaller ecological footprint.
And the source emphasizes this isn't about sacrifice, right?
Very important point. Minimalism here isn't presented as deprivation. It's framed as the logical, intelligent choice. It's a source of mental health, healthy leisure time, freedom from consumer debt and anxiety.
And products themselves.
Built to last, built to be easily repaired, designed for sharing, and ultimately fully recyclable back into the system. Circularity is key.
Okay, that brings us to the final pillar, pillar 3. This one tackles that classic political fight, essential equality versus individual freedom. The text draws a really sharp line here.
It does. Basic says this is a false dilemma if you define things clearly. It separates common needs from individual desires or paths.
So equality in the essential, what does that cover?
It means society must guarantee the foundational necessities that everyone needs to flourish. Clean air, water, nutritious food, safe housing, excellent healthcare and education, clean energy.
Guaranteed for all.
Guaranteed for all, provided at a level of excellence using the society's own collective labor and resources. The rule is absolute. No one gets left behind on the essentials.
Okay. And once that essential base is secure for everyone,
then you have freedom in the difference, total freedom. Once essential needs are met, individuals are absolutely free to chase their unique dreams, their passions, their vocations, whatever makes them tick.
so society provides the safety net, the secure foundation.
Right, a very strong, reliable foundation. But it doesn't dictate how you have to live on that foundation. It doesn't dictate your values. Diversity is celebrated as strength, precisely because it rests on that guaranteed well-being for all.
Okay, so let's recap the whole structure. We've got the foundation, direct participation,
Cemented by that transparent, reciprocal social contract.
supporting the 3 pillars, human dignity and purpose,
Regenerative harmony with nature.
and this balance of essential equality and individual freedom.
That's the proposed architecture, the blueprint for a society that's prosperous, free, and lives within the limits of our planet.
It's an incredibly detailed, comprehensive vision for a complete shift, a total redesign of how civilization could operate. And the text itself says, laying this out is just the start.
Right. And if we pull back to the big picture again, the source material really asserts that the doubt isn't if this kind of redesign is technologically possible anymore.
Because the principles and the necessary tech basically exist already.
Exactly. And that just shifts the entire conversation, doesn't it?
It really does. The ultimate question, the one this deep dive leaves you, the listener, to grapple with, the question the author really challenges you with at the end. It's no longer if we can build the society that needs no owners,
but
how it will actually be done. The focus has to shift completely, away from endless theory and debate, towards simple, practical, concrete implementation.
That's where the real work starts. How do you actually build it?